Hey guys, welcome back. VDCKR here with our weekly Q&A / update video. So as always, we're starting off with WWE Immortals, and we have another pay-per-view event for online multiplayer, which is for Fastlane. So the point that we wanted to make with this one is that often the pay-per-view tickets can actually be useful, even though they are weaker than the main gear, right? So the Fastlane ticket is potentially still useful and worth grabbing. So the case in point is the Night of Champions ticket, which actually has the same effect of giving you all 3 bars of power after finishing an opponent with basic attacks or the special 3 finisher.
Their signature move, yeah.
Because even though the normal one is supposed to do a higher percent, you can't get more than 100%. So
right.
the ticket is actually, in that case, almost as useful as the normal gear, because that's actually the main reason why you'd want to use Night of Champions.
Right. So having both means that you can have that overpowered ability on 2 different characters.
Which is really, really good. And the character challenge is a repeat of Mad Scientist Bray Wyatt. In Mortal Kombat X, there's update 1.7.0. And so, the Faction Wars, we actually have no idea, because we can't get on it, and we'll talk about that in a second, but it's most likely a regular season. The character challenge is for Undead Hunter, Johnny Cage, and also, with the update, there are daily objectives instead of missions.
So, it looks like it's the same daily objectives every day, and from last count, the potential for number of souls is a little bit higher. You're able to get 18 souls per day, and some coins for the different challenges, but it takes way longer. You have to log in a bunch of times, twice at least, to get everything, to get the extra 3 souls for bonus for completing all 12 of the daily objectives.
Yeah.
And like we mentioned before, because of some of the specific objectives, like buying or supporting a fuse, or buying or fusing a support card, upgrading a special, leveling up a character card, it discourages people, just like the daily missions did. It discourages people from completing the rosters, but even more so with the change to daily objectives. Before, limiting step was leveling up the characters, right? And so you need somebody who is due, and and even if you didn't have anybody that you could level up, there's at least a chance to swap out 1 mission a day. Now, no swap outs, and the rate limiting step is even worse. It's fusing a support card. Leveling up a character only requires a new card, right? So when there's a new challenge character, just level them up, and save the level ups until the next challenge comes and you got another new character. Yeah. Didn't matter whether it was a new skin of somebody, or just somebody completely new. So now, when you fuse a support card, you will, if you've already done all the support cards before, and that's a lot easier than leveling everybody up, it requires a brand new, not reskinned character. So you look at it, payout's comparable. Before, the number of souls that you could get in daily missions were a low of 9 and a high of 17. But it takes a lot more time to complete, so overall it seems worse to us. Besides which, because we can't log into our WBID, if you look at it, the change WBID part is grayed out because we can't even log in. It's impossible to complete 2 of the objectives, so either the logins, not possible. We really, really want to like Mortal Kombat X, but these changes, along with being unable to get into Faction Wars at all, it's kind of impossible.
Yeah, so they did a lot of interesting things with the game, but it looks like, unless we're actually going to be able to continue playing it, this might be where we have to say goodbye. And last off, but if you've seen any of our videos, you can probably figure out, not least, we have Injustice. So the current online battle is just a regular season with regular rewards, and the current character challenge for the next 21 and a bit hours on our side, but by the time you're watching this, probably at most, maybe...
might even be over.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the next update.
A lot less time. And so now is the part where we move into the Q&A portion of the video.
Well, before that, quick reminder, in our last few videos, we've got a glitch for last lap tickets, plus a way of maximizing them. So if you missed it, you should take a look at it. They're quite useful.
But so we'll just get right into it. The first question comes from Matthew Prainito, and he says, "Hey BDCKR, I've been working on a multiplayer team. So far I have Static with his charged disc, LexCorp gauntlets and chestplate, Cassandra Kane back row with the League of Assassins Adept hood, or Netherrealm Kama. I don't know, sometimes the disable special saves me. And then Prometheum longsword and a nanocarbon mask in the other slots. The third character slot is currently taken up by animated Batman Beyond Batman, but I don't feel that he fits with the team. And also, I want a team where every teammate is on par with each other, so no Regime Green Lantern or Bronze Lex Luthor. I want to know what I can change so I can make the most out of my team, and if you can help me make the decision for who's going to take up the third slot."
Alright, so let's do a quick recap of what you got so far. You've got Static, who with the gear setup you've got on him can act as your tank and specialist. Cassandra King Batgirl as your main basic damage dealer. And your third person is... Alright, so this is why these questions are so hard to answer. For one thing, the condition you've made for everyone being on par with everyone else is a bit artificial. Regime Green Lantern is an excellent teammate on a team with two other strong golds. We've done it before on a team with animated Harley Quinn and another gold, but we've also done it on a team with weak golds, Regime, Black Adam, and Elseworld Flash, which, as an aside, I think is definitely worth revisiting in this new world of augments, because it's a wicked team. It's actually really, really good. Alright, so getting back to your question, you could stick in someone who's just plain strong on their own.
That's really weird.
Again.
That crashed. Okay, we've already filmed this once, but it crashed again. It looks like the Martian Manhunter is doing Batman's third
let's
special.
try one more time. But we'll cut out the
loading screens for you guys. Just because it's such a pain, we are gonna just
we just edited out that reloading.
Yeah, and we're gonna watch the fight from the beginning again, and we'll just see what happens. But
Alright. Yeah, so getting back to your question, so getting back to what you were actually asking, you could stick in someone who's just plain strong on their own, and animated Batman Beyond fits the bill. But you're right, there's no particular synergy. Doesn't make it wrong, but you could basically put animated Batman Beyond anywhere. So you could put in someone to enhance the rest of the team, and animated Harley Quinn, as suggested by another commenter, is a good choice. But, you know, to be honest, she's good on any team. A little weak on the stats, but, you know, great support character. Crypto Lex Luthor also works. His health boost is useful, since Cassandra King Batgirl's health is relatively low, and his power drain is useful too. But if you're set on having Static on your team, then the power drain isn't necessary, because Static's passive gives you a way of handling your opponent's specials. Wonder Woman 600 would really enhance Cassandra King Batgirl, but do nothing for Static. So if you're looking to get the most out of Cassandra King Batgirl, excuse me, you could include Hawkgirl Prime. Being able to tag in and out more often will let you really take advantage of her 25% health reduction passive, of Cassandra King Batgirl's, I mean. But because it's only a reduction on current health, using it twice on each opponent is sort of the sweet spot. Well, there we go again.
Okay.
I guess we cannot watch this video, and we'll cut this and come right back to a different fight. Alright, so we're back, but because that kept on crashing, we're actually into our secondary account to have something playing in the background that's a bit more interesting. So getting back to the point, it's only reduction in current health. Using it twice on each opponent is sort of the sweet spot. So you reduce an opponent to about 56% health, and after that it doesn't seem worth the effort to intentionally play off a passive. I mean, it's not a bad thing if you happen to do it, but if you're working on it, twice seems to be the sweet spot. If you're not set on having Static on your team, you could make an even better tag-out team by using Lucador Bane instead. So Lucador Bane, Hawkgirl Prime, and Cassandra King Batgirl. New 52 Nightwing has a slight benefit on paper, but his increased damage on tagging doesn't last long enough to really be useful. And if you want, we're going to put some links in the description of previous videos that we've done with Hawkgirl, Cassandra King Batgirl, and Lucador Bane all in one team. And just, yeah, take a look. It's a really cool team. given the changing landscape of MP online play, it might be worth having another strong damage dealer in your third slot. Sometimes, with even the best strategy, you lose your high damage card, and it's good to have a backup. So the conditions of having the synergy may be not nearly as important as having somebody else that can take care of your opponents if your main guy happens to get knocked out. So even though you didn't ask about this, your gear setup on Cassandra Cain Batgirl could be better. The Cloak of Destiny was made for the Batgirls because of the Batgirl special ones, which stun as the first part of the attack. So even though Cassandra Cain Batgirl's passive makes a stun on Taggin useless, the extra damage from the stun on her special one can be huge. League of Assassins Adept Knives gives splash damage on that overpowered special one, making it even more effective. So having the gear set bonus of the LexCorp gear is almost a waste on Static because he's already immune to drain, and he gets power from block specials. And I'm going to say almost, not totally, because there is a slight advantage of getting a boost when fighting against someone with Ra's al Ghul's Scimitar. So you're not just immune to the drain, but you'll get a power boost out of that, which you normally wouldn't because of the LexCorp gear. Better would probably be something to either enhance his ability as a tank or as a specialist. So while the gauntlets are fine, you could replace the LexCorp chestplate with something like the Ibis stick for specials and power gen boost. Or maybe even the Fourth World chestplate to make him more tanky, or the Fourth World helmet to do both, like give him power gen and better blocking.
Okay, so our next question comes from Momodou Senghore, and he says, I know Arkham Origins Deathstroke is called the basic attack monster, and this comment is in relation to Arkham Knight. But with a Scream of Sticks, Prometheum Longsword, and custom rifle with 200 crit damage and 27 crit chance augments, every hit crits, and the full unblocked swipe combo does over 70,000. The first 5 hits do 15,700 each, and the last 2 do 9,000 each. In theory, it does a total of 96,000, but in a normal battle, most characters take 1.5 swipe combos to KO.
Okay, so yeah, Arkham Origins Deathstroke used to be called, or considered, the basic attack monster because he had the highest effective damage stat when his maxed out passive was taken into account. So he gets a 56% boost on his damage stat, so without any gears, without any augmentations, without any passives from his teammates, he did the most basic damage, period. But of course that comes with 2 huge qualifiers. The first one, which is always, I was going to say always, but it's actually not always been true. Ever since Gear came out, Gears change everything. Because the damage boost you get from Gears is calculated off the base damage, Arkham Origins Deathstroke doesn't get as much of a boost as someone with a higher natural damage stat. It's also true for teammates who have a passive that also boosts damage. So that's why Red Sun Deathstroke, for example, on a Red Sun team with Red Sun Superman, who gives the basic damage boost, and carrying, if Red Sun Deathstroke is carrying basic damage boosters, he could have a higher damage per swipe compared to Arkham Origins Deathstroke. And the second one we've sort of hinted at already, when you say damage per swipe, the second reason, the second qualifier, is that not everyone has the same number of swipe hits in a combo. There was a time when most characters had a 3-hit swipe combo and a 4-hit tap combo if you get the combo finisher. There was also a time when if a character had a 2-hit swipe combo, the damage would scale up. For example, Shazam and Doomsday both have a harder hitting second swipe on the swipe combo. So effectively, the complete combo would do an appropriate amount of damage based on the damage stat. But that's gone completely out the window with some of the newer characters. So Arkham Knight Batman and the Arkham Knight both have more hits in their swipe combo, but the damage per hit doesn't scale down. And another example, which is sort of the opposite, not an advantage but a disadvantage, is Mortal Kombat X Scorpion only has a 2-hit swipe combo, but the damage on the second hit doesn't increase, so you're getting less damage on it than you should based on his damage stat. So, you know, yeah, Arkham Knight is pretty good, but he's a bit of a funny beast. At least for us, his rhythm isn't as good as Arkham Origins Deathstroke, probably because he's got a slight lag after completing the combo. his reach is way better, but he's still vulnerable to being crushed just as easily as he can crush someone else because of the leg. And you know, if you get the first hit of your combo blocked when you're doing Arkham Knight, and it stops him, then you're totally wide open to being mashed.
Yeah, so I think what I wanted to end this on is this is totally unrelated to Injustice, but if you stuck with us long enough, you're probably willing to hear me out. This has nothing to do with us as a channel personally, but there's just this game called Super Hot is coming out on Thursday, and it's been hyped up a lot. It looks really cool, and I just thought that that might be something interesting to share with you guys. It's a really cool concept where time moves only when you move. It's got a really interesting art style. It looks like the game is fun, interesting, engaging, and they've made every effort to make it look as cool as it can be, so you guys might want to check that out. It is totally different from Injustice, especially Injustice as a mobile game, so there's no guarantee that you'll like it at all, but it's definitely interesting and worth seeing. Anyways, I think that's all for this time.
Thanks for watching.
See you guys next time. Komoda.